Stevens, I might just ask you about the game first.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you make of it? It rained and it got slippery and it got a
Yeah.
bit messy at times, but in the end, I guess you just got the job done.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the things I was really pleased with. I think the way that the boys adapted to the weather, like it was sunny when we went out there, we played some really expensive footy, but then we were able to adapt and sort of play a more direct game when the weather changed. And the most pleasing thing was just we suffocated Parramatta down there into the field. I think there was a whole heap of times in the game where they were starting their sets inside their 20, and the more you do that to a team, it's hard to get out of that field position.
Can you run us through Tom's injury?
Yeah, so it's obviously needs scans, but it looks like it's an MCL, which again we'll get scans tomorrow. But just coming from the medical meeting, then normally those types of injuries are around about 5 or 6 weeks. But again, I don't want to preempt anything and put a timeline on it because we need to make sure that we get it diagnosed and the doctor, and our physios, but understand that's exactly what it is, and then we'll come up with a plan. But obviously, he's obviously very disappointed, and I'm really disappointed to lose him there at half time.
It does take it hard, doesn't it?
Pardon?
Tom takes the injuries hard.
Yeah. Look, he does, and this is my 3rd year coaching him now, and just his preparation. He's so diligent, and I think anyone who knows Turbo, he puts in so much time. So in some ways, life's not fair because you can understand if he wasn't doing the work and doing all his reconditioning and his injury prevention and so on. So unfortunately, today was it was a tough day for him, and we're disappointed to lose him there.
Was there some concern around his other knee coming in as well? Was that strapped as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, not a really concern, but him and Benny collided at training yesterday, which is quite. It's not comical, but it was.
We can laugh now because it wasn't too serious, but it was funny.
Your last session of the week's pretty light, right? Anyway, they ran into each other in a small-sided drill, and they both ended up on the floor. And Benny was getting a fair bit of abuse for knocking over our fullback. So that's all that was. Yeah.
And was there some suggestion he had a pop out there in the field? Is that correct? I heard that somewhere on
not
the
that I'm aware of,
telecast.
no.
Was there any thought in bringing him off when he went down?
Well, he wanted to try and run it out. So obviously I'm 200 and whatever metres away up in the box, and so the player directs the physio staff. And sometimes the medical staff will say, no, you've got to come off for the safety of the players. But Turbo thought he was actually able to run it out. And you saw him, he freed up. I think Bullymore made a line break and Turbo was able to change his pace. That was straight line, but as soon as he had to change it a little bit of direction, that's when he sort of said, look, I'll get through to half time and then I'll come off. So we got that message and we knew we were going to have to make a change there. And I thought the guys adapted really well. Benny went to right centre, Ruben to left wing, Hopper to full back, and so we got on with it, yeah.
How was your week, David? There's a lot written, a lot said. What did you like and what didn't you like?
Didn't like that it was all about me, and I love the fact that we come out here and stayed focused and got the 2 points.
I understand on Channel 9 you said there was a smear campaign. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, well, obviously there was a fair bit spoken after the announcement was made on Monday night, so I feel like it could have ended pretty quickly early in the week, but it obviously didn't, which means conversations were continuing to happen outside of the ones happening between the club and I, so that's where I felt like it got a bit nasty and a bit ugly. But well, it's hard not to take things personally sometimes because we're all human. One thing I have gotten pretty good and used to is controlling the things that you can control and keeping your focus on the things that are important, which is your footy side and your family. So I did that the best I could this week.
What did you find?
A smear campaign, that sort of implies that someone was behind it. When you say that, do you mean that was coming from the club, coming from the media, coming from people within the club, where do you think that smear campaign was coming from?
I know who it's coming from, and it's not appropriate to talk about it. You guys obviously know where it's coming from as well, but I'm old enough and big enough to handle it. But people are aware of it, and I don't mind the fact that I've made people aware of it. But the thing that I can control, again, is how I act and how I respond to it. And there's no bigger response than making sure that you do your job for your team and get a win.
Was it hurtful, David?
Well, as I said, there were times during the week where maybe it was a little bit hurtful. But again, because I'm a bit older, a bit wiser, because I'm so content with the decision made, it doesn't last too long, to be completely honest. But yeah, as I said, there's a human element. So your emotions and feelings do get hurt sometimes, but it's not long lasting, which is great. Comes from...
Can I ask you, do you think the media was being fed stuff to rot?
Pardon?
Can I ask you, do you think the media was being fed stuff to rot?
Yeah,
Is it something? Sorry, you go.
By whom?
I'm not sure. Or maybe I am and I'm not telling.
Could you clarify that when you say what exactly was said or done this week that particularly got on your nerve that you found particularly offensive?
Well, I don't think there's anything like... It's just the whole situation. I'm obviously a private person. So anything that is in the media when it comes to speculation, I obviously don't love that side of it. But again, like, I'm a part of it. I've owned my stuff. I've got to own my stuff. That's really important in all of this. But the extra stuff that pops up here and there, that's the sort of stuff that, yeah, you can't control, but it does hurt you sometimes, and you just got to move on.
Do you appreciate that's going to continue? Because while that is you have to make a decision about the future and we don't know where you're going, we're going to speculate on it. We're going to hypothesise what we're doing. Maybe you've got something in the background, maybe you haven't. That's going to persist. That's not going to go away while ever we're all in the dark. You understand that, right?
Yeah, no, I'm all right with the speculation on where I'm going. There's other details that aren't about that. Correct. You're very good at your job, aren't you, Reedy?
Really not. I'll work it out.
Full house out there. What's it like playing for a full house, third full house you've had this season?
We're so appreciative and grateful of our fans. Today was not an easy day to come to the footy. There was a lot of people that could have stayed at home today based on the weather. It was sunny one minute, it was rainy the next, and it continued during the day and through the game. So for people to fill that hill was really special, and it's not a place that we come here and expect to win, but the people that fill the hill certainly, they add to it and they make us feel a lot special. It's a place that you want to do your fans proud, and we really appreciate the support that we had today.
David, it's all just the smear campaign. Were you concerned what impact that may have on the reception you received here today? And after today, do you sort of feel like maybe there was a smear campaign that didn't work because it didn't sound like there was too much going on?
Yeah, my two biggest worries were how it affected the team. And it was so great to see us get out there and get the result. Things were changing on the run with injuries and stuff, so I was really, really pleased that we stayed focused on the task at hand and got the win. So that was a concern. And then, yeah, the reception, definitely I was a bit nervous, but honestly, I was really emotional today when I heard the Hill supporting me. I was a little bit worried it wasn't going to go that way based on what was being put in the media, but I reckon they saw right through it and made me so proud that they're supporting me. I get this decision isn't going to make everyone happy, and I've owned that from the start, but the reception I got today, it made me really proud to be the captain of Manly.
Have you been tempted at all during the week to address this with people, I would say, and is it something that you may be tempted to do in the future, or do you plan to let it lie? I mean, it's a pretty big statement to make to come out and say that as you feel there's been a smear campaign.
No, I'm happy to just let it continue to ride. As I said today, the Hill was the biggest response and my team was the biggest response, and we responded on the field, and the Hill were amazing. So again, really proud to be the captain of this club.
Do you have a timeline on when you expect to?
I don't, and I know it's going to annoy you. I'm really sorry about that. I really am. That's where the part I understand speculation is going to continue. But I hope you can understand that's why I've given the club time to move on in their direction, and then it will allow me freedom to do my thing in the background. So that's why it is the way it is. So I can take my time.
And you can't see in the week.
Emotionally, what can you say about the way he handled the play today, given everything he's just spoken about what's going on?
Well, I think, like in my time knowing Chaz, he's an ultimate professional. And there certainly was a lot of noise outside the club, but one of the things that I was really proud of the group was how well we prepared during the week, because it was going to be a challenging game. Parramatta weren't too far away from knocking over the Dogs, who have started the season unbeaten, and we knew that they'd come here somewhere near their best. So I was really proud of the way that the football, the footy program, like we were out on the field Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and we got on with things. And while Chez's at the club, I've got his back. He knows that. I've had conversations with Chez with regards to that. I know it makes him uncomfortable with regards to a lot of the questioning, but the biggest thing we can do is continue to play good footy. And I feel like if you look at our first month of footy, we've put some great, some great, halves together. So I'm not worried about 2026. I'm worried about now, and I'm worried about next week, and reviewing this and enjoying this tonight, and then we come up against the Storm here next Sunday. So it's business as usual for me. My job's to prepare the team, and that's what I've done.
Thanks, guys.